It's an interconference contest here in the Big Apple, New York, as the Knicks play one at home. Buckle yourselves in, everybody. It's the NBA on 2K Sports. With Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. You look at Minnesota. Very strong basketball is the recipe for them right now. 4 straight wins, looking for number 5. In for Aaron Aflalo. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Nikola Pekovic is checked in for Towns. Gorgie Dang comes in for Kevin Garnett. Muhammad, he's checked in for Wiggins. And Freak subbed in for Levine. On the court for Minnesota. Freak in at shooting guard. Pekovic is out there with Gorgie Dang. Then there's Shabazz Muhammad, and it's Rubio in at the 1. Carmelo Anthony, the 3rd pick overall in the 2003 NBA draft, was in some pretty good company at the top of that one, as I recall.
I mean, you had LeBron going 1, and of course, Darko Milicic was number 2 on that list. But how about D-Wade at 4? A little bit of a surprise, Chris Bosh. You know, all those guys, with the exception of Melo, have rings.
Kyle O'Quinn is checked in for the Knicks. Williams comes in for Porzingis. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
I was able to talk with Kurt Rambis for a moment. We talked about the challenges posed by a player like Ricky Rubio, such a tremendous passer and floor general. Coach said, we know he can make plays, but making shots is where he's been less effective. We need to focus on staying home and forcing him to beat us with his scoring. Guys, we'll see if they can limit his highlight reel dimes. Back to you.
All right, Doris, thanks. And it's Freak missing.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the boards.
And even this early, that's a good omen for the rest of the game.
Calderon kicks to Roten. The 3 from Anthony. The Knicks rebound. Here's O'Quinn. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a 3-point play.
How about the start that they've gotten off to here? Huge lead, and we're still in the first quarter.
And guys, it hasn't just been the scoring. I mean, they're playing tremendous defense, too.
Lance Thomas, he's checked in for Anthony. Calderon against Rubio. Pass to Freak. The 10-footer. The shot is off. Nice D from Williams. The Knicks leading by 12. Now here's Roten, looking for his first basket still in this one. Inside. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
I mean, the Knicks were bad last year, and it became evident early on as the season grew older, more and more of their national coverage games were being pulled.
For the Knicks, losing a lot of nationally televised games, too. It seemed like every time they were on, they were losing. It might have been a blessing in disguise.
Well, I hope they look at it in a positive vein. It did give them a chance to focus on player development there in New York. Also allowed them to shut down Melo for the season.
New York's gone just 1 of 4 from 3-point range here in the first. Calderon passes to Thomas. Nobody near Williams. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet.
All these open threes they're giving up have really been the driving force of this run.
And the points are starting to add up in a hurry, especially when you're giving up those looks from deep.
Feeds to Jang, dishes it to Freak. To end the run, and goaltending is going to be the call, so they get the basket there anyway.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
There's 25 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Calderon dishes to Roten. Calderon with guarded now by Rubio. And Ricky Rubio gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul of the game, and the bonus will go to the free throw line. The Knicks have been exceptional shooting for the Knicks. Lopez, he's checked in for Kyle O'Quinn. Porzingis comes in for Derek Williams. And Anthony subbed in for Lance Thomas. And then for Minnesota, Nikola Pekovic comes in for Payne. And Freak subbed in for Muhammad. So on the floor for Minnesota, Freak in a 2-guard. Gorgie Dang is out there with Pekovic. Then it's Andrew Wiggins, and it's Levine in at the point. One thing about Jose Calderon, you could see the frustration in him last season playing a career low 42 games, and his averages were down pretty much, Greg, across the board.
Yeah, and Kevin, he was brought in to kind of invigorate the Knicks' point guard position, but following a preseason calf injury, you know, he missed the team's first 13 games and never was able to really get going. Remember, coming into a new system where he had to learn how to play differently, and then after all that, you know, you have to shut him down because of that left Achilles.
Good on that shot. With that, the Knick lead is cut down to 6 and the bucket from Freak. The Knicks have gone an abysmal 0 of 6 from the field since the second quarter began. Anthony drawing the double team. Lopez a screen. Roden kicks to Lopez. Wiggins with some nice D.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Freak with it, and Roden picks him up defensively. Now here's Freak. He's guarded closely, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Now just a 4-point Knicks lead.
A nice run they put together here to bring it a little closer.
Yeah, they got hot. And I didn't think I'd be saying this a little while ago, but now this game's up for grabs.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Well, Kev, Freak in the last matchup against the Nuggets played some outstanding basketball. He had 30 points and was in the zone as a shooter, lighting it up from both the foul line and the field. He was just too much to handle as he came off the bench to turn in a great outing, guys. They hope it continues.
All right, Doris, thank you. It really was a stunning performance. He was at his absolute best in that game.
And if he can come anywhere close to another performance like that here tonight, it would be amazing.
Yeah, it really would be, because you know now the defense is going to be focused squarely on him. They're going to make sure that he doesn't beat him again.
And now Minnesota on the fast break. Baseline J on the way.
You know what? You just cannot get much better of a look than that one.
Exactly. I mean, no way you expect him to miss that shot.
A young team trying to find their place in the league can have it tough on the road, Clark, and the 2015 Timberwolves typified that sentiment.
In spades, 7-34 on the road last season. Dead last in the West as they won only 3 road games against the rest of the conference.
And with the Wolves on the road, that they shot threes better and had better offense, they would still lose by double digits on average.
The Timberwolves shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
And they've shot the ball well this season in terms of their attempts, 81%.
Yeah, guys, they can feel very good about themselves when you bring up those statistics. Impressive numbers.
Kevin Garnett, who's checked in for Gorgie Dang.
Knicks fans, these are your Knicks City dancers. Come on and give it up.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris? And so that brings the...
Well, Jose, you...
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get checked in for Minnesota. Timberwolves leading by 10. We've got Anthony. Calderon is out there with a Flalo. Then there's Robin Lopez, and it's Porzingis in at the 4. That's the 5 for New York right now.
Terrific assist that time by Rubio.
The Knicks have gone 0 of 3 and are still looking for that first bucket here in the second half. Calderon with it. He averages more than 12 points a game. That's some dependable production.
You know, sometimes rest can do more harm than good. It certainly looks that way for them. They've been cold coming out and have yet to find the bottom of the net.
And really, it looks like he may just try to take this thing over on his own and really build that lead up.
Karl Anthony Towns didn't come into the previous year as the most highly touted prospect, Clark, but his play last year at Kentucky would change that.
No question about it. People knew he was going to be good, Kevin, but few saw him being this good. He showed he could do a little bit of everything as a Kentucky big.
Now here's Freak. He's guarded by a Flalo. Freak. And the rebound goes to the Knicks. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Blazers.
You know what? A lot of three-pointers, but for me, more so, it was the shot selection on those three-pointers. I just felt like they were just too trigger-happy from downtown.
You know, Greg, sometimes you're able to shoot your way out of a slump, but they just kept making things worse. Sometimes the harder you try, the worse it gets.
Right around 3 minutes into the second half. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
And stolen by Freak. The three ball. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
That's a tougher shot than you hope for off a fast break, but you can't argue with the result.
Calderon passes to Porzingis, and a follow wide open. He shoots, and right away they match it with a three-pointer of their own.
Only took them a few seconds to answer the three ball with one of their own.
Greg, we've got a three-point battle taking shape here.
And that one's good. Freak.
The D has gotten a little lax defending the three-point shot at that end.
Yeah, 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have come from beyond.
And Anthony gets double-teamed, puts it up from 12. Here's Porzingis, and a good offensive board, and he gets the bucket. Porzingis has got 6.
Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it.
That's good.
Man, the triples keep falling, guys. That's 3 in a row.
I think they're playing too soft on the perimeter. They can't stay so soft. They've got to get up into the shooters here.
Listen, the Knicks had a hard time scoring last year. Just lacked any real presence in the paint. And lacking that paint threat makes things easier for the opposing defense.
A room service dime by Jose Calderon.
There's the screen. Rubio dishes to Freak. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way. Freak's got 16 here in the second half. You know, at the Knicks, they were second to last in field goal percentage from their front court. Granted, they were hit by injuries that seemed like all over the place all season.
Yeah, you know, with that poor field goal percentage shooting and being top 3 in field goal attempts on the year, not a good combination.
They can't guard us on the perimeter. Let's spread the floor and isolate up top. Spacing, fellas. Spacing.
While we have the chance, I'll look at our 2K leaderboard and the top shooting small forwards the free throw line during the last month. Third is Carmelo Anthony.
And knowing what I do about the guys on that list, I can tell you they've put a lot of long hours in the gym to get those percentages to where they are.
Well, you can't get those numbers without the work, and they've posted impressive numbers, and all of them are naturally gifted shooters, but you have to add to natural ability the work required to bring it to fruition.
Levine kicks to Freak. 55 seconds left in the third. 6 to shoot, and he gets it to go. Freak's got 32 points.
A very good half for them from the field. They've got their shooting percentage up over 50%.
Yeah, their offense heating up, and anytime you shoot it this well, you're going to give yourself a chance to get the W.
Oh, Quinn can't hit.
Oh, you've got to be able to deliver when you get a bunny like that. That's just too easy of a shot to miss.
Here's Freak. And it's Quinn with the rebound.
Well, I think he kind of alligator armed that one, short stroked it. After doing a nice job to get open, he didn't finish the shot. Oh, Maestro, he is so good at making those lead passes, like conducting an orchestra.
Now here's Freak. D right on him. Tipped away. Here's Levine. And another 3 for Minnesota.
It has been a 3-point barrage.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Knicks City Dancers.
And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens. Lopez, he's checked in for New York. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Towns, he's checked in for Nikola Pekovic. Garnett comes in.